Hi everyone, Joe from Joe Weedon, Melbourne on this Friday night. How are you all? Thanks for joining me on my live on the usual Friday night. We've had a few ups and downs in the last couple of weeks with things going on and everything, but this is happening. So I'm just getting on to have a look because I love to see who's around. My little video first. I'm not quite sure whether you decide to whether I create first or maybe show you some of the swaps from on stage. I have a number of them to show you, so I don't mind either way. Just going to stand up so that I can have a look and see if anyone's commented yet. Not yet, but that's okay. So I've also got these here, obviously. These are some stamp sets that we got from on stage. So Painted Poppies, which we're going to play with later, with Timeless Tropical. So, and clearly in real red. So we'll have a play with that later. Now I still can't show you what's happening in this, inside this magical catalogue, but not very long now. I can show you, shortly I'll be able to show you from the start of January. You know, that's not very far away. So let me move that out of the way and I'll bring in some swaps. There's a few. Now there's a couple that have gone live on my blog already. Oh, sugar. Sorry. Sorry about that. Let me just make sure it's all okay. Yep. Hi Rails. Hi Robin. G'day, g'day. Sorry about the shaky there. Okay, so I probably should have taken all these out of the bag so that I could show you what everything is beforehand, but I didn't think about that. So we're starting with a doozy. This one is extraordinary. This one is a diamond easel card from Sharon Martin, who's from New Zealand. I didn't realise she travelled across the water. So this is beautiful, a diamond easel card. So I'm intrigued to sort of work out how it works so that I can make it with my lovely ladies in either of my groups, ladies and men, I should say. Hey Wendy, g'day. So I'm intrigued, and of course the Bird Ballad Suite is just beautiful, and the soft colours that Sharon has used is gorgeous. So over time I'm going to put lots of these items up on my blog with more details, so then you're going to be able to see exactly what products people have used. So this will just sort of be a bit of a quick thing. So Charlene Pavey has made this one using the Dashing Deer and Still Seen stamp sets with the Gleaming Christmas. They're just beautiful. I'm trying not to get the glare of the plastic, but you can see the copper detail, and the insert here is actually cut, or the designer paper is actually cut and folded back so that you get both sides of it. So just wonderful. So thank you, Charlene. I appreciate you swapping with me. Just going to turn off that speaker. Now the next couple I've actually shared already on my blog. So this is Monica's swap. So not a Christmas one now. Different. Take time to do what makes your soul happy. How gorgeous is that? So I participated in a group swap so that we made 10 cards. Well, technically we made 9 cards to hand out, and then we got 9 cards back. So it was wonderful. G'day Manjeet. Hello. Thanks for making it. So let me make sure I put that paper there with Monica's items. So this card, I just love the simplicity of the wreath and the Christmas tree punched out, and just a little heart on the edge there. Gorgeous. From Leonie Stewart. So I know I definitely uploaded this morning with this card as well. Maybe I should move those out of the way so they don't distract. So this one is from Margie Sank. Beautiful woman in and out. So I love this one. Showing off the double-sided, the designer paper of either side is so great. I just think it's fantastic. A little bit of sponging, really great technique. I love it. How beautiful is that? Some really gorgeous work. We might be here for a little while, or I might do half and half, we'll see. So someone's been fussy cutting possibly here and then running it through. So this is Sharon Dalton. Thanks, Sharon, for swapping with me. It was such a crazy time with lots of people swapping and commenting and saying hello, people that I wanted to say hello to. It was amazing, but really wonderful. Let's just, okay. Oops, don't want to lose the details from here. So this is from my mate Heidi, who's on the other side of town. This is her swap. So she's gold embossed the, oh no, she's used gold delicata. I don't quite know how to say that. Gold ink and real red she's used with the Christmas gleaming and itty bitty Christmas stamp set. So fantastic detail. I love it. There you go. And a message for me inside. This copper is getting a good workout, I tell you. Just beautiful. So this is Kaz, the Crafting with Kaz. Actually, I think I spoke to her online this afternoon. So here we go, some beautiful work again with the ferns that she's used. Let's have a look. Whisper white, copper dotted treat bags. Ah, she's cut up a treat bag. That's a bit clever. Garden green and shaded spruce as the colours, and embossing paste. So that's what's giving the white detail here on the fern, as if it's snow. Oh, good morning, Magnolia. Here we go. This is from Kylie Bertucci. So we were lucky enough to catch each other over the day and swap, and we got a selfie together as well, as we both crossed the stage with Nicole Godding as well for our 10 years as a demonstrator. Sorry, Wendy, what's your question? Did you get one? I can't read what's on the phone. One of your swaps? I'm not sure. Hi, Karen. How are you? Have you got power now, Karen? Is everything okay? We've gone from extreme heat yesterday, from 43 degrees to 18 or something today, but friends of mine lost power last night, so we couldn't have a team meeting on the other side of town. So that one's Kylie's. We have a birthday card. Oh, there we go. And this one, I have to open it to have a look. So it turns out there were just under 700 demonstrators. They're on, oh, it doesn't have a name. Oh, goodness. So there we go. I love this one, the Daisy Punch, and the flower middles as well. Let me just see, Karen, if I can move this phone over a tad without losing everybody. Ugh, it's getting a bit messy, isn't it? Oh, there we go. See if that... I'm not sure, Wendy. I'll have to have a look as I work through everything. I'll see how we go. So there we go. So sadly, if this is your card, please let me know, because then I can give you the accolades that you deserve. Oh, here we go. Another one, different one. Julianne Hawkins. So she's used Let It Ride, the stamp set that I haven't seen a lot of work with. So here you go. And ripping technique and sponging as well, with the copper accents too. So gorgeous. Live as if someone left a gate open. Aww, how sweet is that? Gorgeous. Ah, and she's used Winker Stella here on the horse's mane. Can you see that? Bit of shimmer shimmer. Oh, there we go. Nice. I like that one. Okay. I really should have opened these earlier. I'm so sorry. Okay, here we go. Nice, bright and cheery Christmas one. And this is Create a Rose card making. Roseanne Cook. Ah, hello, hello. And she's used the new puff paint here on the skirt and the sleeves, etc. So fantastic. Love it. Christine Hajar. I hope I'm saying your name right, Christine. So Christine and I were in a swap together, and she's used the, I keep wanting to say the wrong name for what they are. This is the pigment sprinkles. So amazing. I saw her little box. She had so many of these, and they're all completely different depending on the spread of colour. But this is beautiful. I'll be your up when you're feeling down. What a beautiful sentiment. The little things you do make the world a whole lot better. Just lovely. A touch of colour on the inside. It's fantastic. I wonder how her hands were at the end of her creating. Christine would have been quite coloured, a bit like me in childcare, I reckon. So Tracy's card is up next, and she's used Daisy Lane, I should say. Here you go, Daisy Lane here, and the bird ballot designer paper. Gorgeous. So many great creations, so many things for inspiration. And the beauty is, if they're using a colour that you wouldn't normally use, there's still going to be something you'll take from that card. It will either make you suddenly like something that you didn't think you did, or you will like something of the layout, or you see a card that a sentiment or something that you didn't even know existed, because the catalogue is just so varied, you don't always take everything in. So this is from Cherie Maxwell, and she has used the daisy punches as well, the two size, to make up her card, and the leaf punch too, which is so great for texture. Fantastic. This one is super busy. I've checked this out before. So this is Kim, who I met finally. I've been speaking to her for quite a while now, and it was so lovely to meet Kim. So she's been really busy. There's so many amazing elements on this card. And technically, you know, you've got your card base, then the mat, so that's 1, the detail here, 2, the sentiment, 3, and the ribbon, and then the word friend as well. So that's, you know, 4 or 5 layers. So she's been a busy little beaver. And this is using the Itty Bitty Christmas stamp set, and feels like frosty specialty paper as well. So she's been so busy, and I'm just a little bit interested to know what this particular colour is, because I was going to say it was Calypso Coral, but it's too gentle. I can't think of what the cardstock is called. No, she's got Gorgeous Grape on there, but no, I can't think of what that is. I'm going to have to look that up, or send her a message perhaps. So that's fantastic. Oh, now here's a card that my ladies were very excited about. This one is made by a mate of mine who I actually travelled to on stage with. This is by Alison Britt, and she's over in Balan. And she's used the copper ribbon, which is fantastic. So she doesn't actually need to make a sentiment at all. And see how the ornament stands up? How cute is that? Nice little 3D thing. And she's used Merry Christmas to All, Memories of Home, and Christmas Gleaming. So that's quite a, 3 stamp sets. It's fantastic. How beautiful. I love it. And these are just really lovely. These are the, let me see, what embellishments are these? These are the Toil Tidings Glitter Enamel Dots. Just see the little shimmer in them. Just beautiful. Thanks, Wendy. Petal Pink is that colour. That'd be why I didn't know it. I don't know the pinks very well. Oh, we're almost there, guys, and then we can have a bit of a play. So this is Mandy Weatherby. A wonderful friend of mine that I met last year, or maybe 18 months ago. And she is currently number 36 in Australia as a demonstrator, with the highest number of sales and recruits and that sort of thing. So I'm exceptionally proud of her. So Mandy's Papercraft Creations made this. So again, another card with lots of layers. So she's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different layers on here, and it just works so well. She's used the Bird Ballot designer paper with Sahara Sand and Early Espresso ink. And yeah, there's a lot going on. You know, she's got this beautiful thread on here, and use the pearls, just a couple of pearls on here to make it, you know, to soften it all and to bring it all together with the vanilla card. Gorgeous. Just beautiful. Hi Denise, how are you? Thanks for watching. We have about 3 more to go. Whoops, whose work have I just dropped? This is Sue Hemming. Sue, did we meet? I'm not quite sure if we did. So she's been really busy with the So Many Stars stamp set, and I'm loving this detail of the using the die and then the cardstock behind, so that you get the rich colour behind it. And all of this, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but all of this is actually embossed. So it's just really subtle, but just beautiful. And she's used the Christmas is Here specialty designer paper as well. They're beautiful. And I mean, there's only 3 colours, you know, the vanilla, very vanilla. Oh, and she's done stars inside. How sweet is that? Very vanilla, cherry cobbler, and then the gold foil as well. How striking. Okay. Always thinking of you. This is beautiful. This could be a really lovely birthday card. It could be a sympathy card. And she's obviously fussy cut that out. So this is Chris McIntosh. Hello, hello. And she's used floral essence, very versatiles, and special celebrations. So beautiful. Just love it. And again, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 layers. Wow. She clearly got more organised than I did, because the night before I started mine, oh my goodness, well, a week before I think it was. And here we go, we have this one, and sadly I've lost the bag for this, so oh no, Peter Hodges, I hope I'm saying her name correctly. So this uses the copper foil paper again, running it through the embossing folder, which is, I think, metallic metal, hammered metal. Reminds me of my turtle shell. That one. I've done a couple of cards with this, so that always takes me back to that. And she's used the basic black purple posy, the thick whisper white, and copper foil, and just kind of shadowed it with the copper foil behind. So she's cut that out and then layered it up. So, and just beautiful. Fantastic. So much inspiration in that little pile. It's wonderful. Oh, I have one more. This is extraordinary. This is one of the few... I got a couple of 3D swaps which are in a box for my ladies to have a look at when I take it next week. So this is Michelle, and I haven't looked her up to find out which Michelle it is. So Create with Michelle B is her page. So I apologise, I can't think of her last name right now. But this is just beautiful. Look at this, it just keeps going. I love it. It's so much work in such a little pocket rocket of a project. So we undo all this. It'd be wonderful for Mother's Day or for the birth of a new child. It's fantastic. And the beautiful thing about Michelle is I didn't have a swap anymore to give her, so she just gave this to me with love. So I'll cherish it. It'll just be wonderful to emulate this with, you know, another type of paper as well. Just gorgeous. There's so much work. Whoops, hang on, got to get this right. There we go. And then even on the back as well, there's some more sections that I can open and use as well. Just beautiful. So I'm very appreciative of everybody for sharing with me, for swapping. And this is actually, it's got a little magnet, look how wonderful. So it closes over neatly. I'm going to tie those up later so that we've got, so I can keep it safe. So let me find the stamp sets again, which is under all of the swaps. Oh, here we go. There we go. So I'm going to use Painted Poppies. I'm going to sit down now, so the voice might change a little bit on my phone, but that's okay. And got my Whisper White cardstock. Now I start with my card being 14.5 centimetres by 21, and so then when it's folded, it's 10.5 centimeters by 14.5, and then any mats that go with that are reduced by 0.5 centimeter. It actually means that I end up with this tiny little piece at the end of each piece, but that's okay. It just means that the maths in my head works better than if I didn't do that. So just score my card base, take that out of the way. And what I've got is the poppy image from Painted Poppies, which isn't available until the 2nd of January. But being a demo, I get to play now, thankfully. And so I'm going to emboss this. So I need my embossing buddy to remove any of this static. And then my Versamark. And there's no, oh, no, that's not very clean. That's a shame. That'll be okay. There's no real rule as to how to place this down. Although, with a little bit of red on my Versamark, unfortunately, it means that I can actually see where I'm stamping. So it's not completely a bad thing. Lucky I've got about 4 of these pads, so that if I ruin this one, I can still use others. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm just covering up most of the space on my cardstock, and you'll see why in a moment. So there you go. Hi Jackie. Hi Karen. If you have a look here, you see most of it because of the red ink that I've got. It's predominantly covered. So now I'm just going to use my embossing buddy in my tray and put my white powder all over it without trying to rub it. So I did this before on one of my examples earlier, and I am keeping it from you at the moment just so that you can see the differences between each of the cards. I did this before exactly the same, and when I lifted this up, the whole sheet was completely covered in thick embossing powder. It was like my embossing buddy just didn't work. It was really odd. So you'll be able to see that later. Let me move that out of the way so that I don't blow it away with the heat gun. And I'm going to make a bit of noise, but hopefully you might be able to see the change. I love this. It's always magic. Let me just put this light on to see if we can help. Hi Roseanne. Just talk amongst yourselves while I use the heat gun. Almost there. Okay. The poppies are beautiful, aren't they? There we go. Okay. Thanks for persevering with me. Roseanne, I showed your swap earlier. typing over the noise. Thanks, Karen. I just went through all my swaps, Roseanne, and I showed yours off, so thank you. I'm just going to drag this in. Ooh. Shh. Stop knocking the camera, Joe. That's nice by itself, isn't it, Manjit? Just like that. But wait, there's more. So you can see I've been practicing earlier. So I'll put that down and I'm getting my brayer in and my real red ink that I cannot find right now. Where is my real red ink? Okay, hang on a minute. Let me go. All right, I've found it. Okay, so the idea of the brayer is that you roll on colour onto your cardstock. So being this sponge actually absorbs some of the colour, and so the idea is you sort of roll it around, but you don't want to get lines. So you sort of roll it, like you lift it up and you allow it to rotate so that you don't end up with just a solid line in between. And then you start off the cardstock. And yeah, the plain embossing is gorgeous, but you'll see what I'll do with it. So you start rolling off the cardstock and then rolling up. So this is the bit where I hold my breath. And remember I said you've got to let the roller roll like off the cardstock. So actually let it rotate so that you don't end up with one place that it's going to leave these markings. See how it's got that? So it's got those markings along there. On this card, that's not what I want. So I ink it up again. And you just need to be aware that this process actually pulls a lot of ink away from your ink pad. So you may actually need to re-ink, which of course you can buy the re-inkers. So we'll do that again. And this time I'm going to move quickly from this dark area. I don't want all of the ink sitting there. I actually want to sort of roll it up and get up to this point because I want to get rid of those lines. Oh, I stalled a little bit. There you go. And it gets to a certain point as well where you're possibly pulling off a little bit of the colour too. There we go. So this is what you end up with. Now I don't want to add any more colour to that because I think it's actually got enough there. There's still a bit of a bead that annoys me a little bit, but it'll be okay when you see what I do with it. So let me move that away. I'll take that away. Put it on the floor for later. What we do now is just give it a wipe over. And you'll see, because some of that red is actually a little bit wet still, so we just want to be careful I'm not bleeding it with my fingers by pushing. And let me close that because I'm bound to put my elbow in it. So now we give the flowers a bit of a wipe, just with a dry paper towel or a dry wet one. So it's not wet, it's dry. Because I did that before and I actually bled the ink. So I'm going to do the other half, but can you see the difference here? The white is stronger than here where I've not wiped it off yet. And that's what we want to do. We just want to crisp up those images by removing the wet ink. Whoops. Just trying to rush and I'm fumbling a little bit. Okay. So now with your aqua pen, which is just full of water, that's all that is. Okay, just fill it up with water. And you bleed the water through until it's wet. You don't want it sopping because you want to be in control of where the water is going. But all you do is just circle that image. And so you're pulling some of that colour away. And you can afford to be a little bit gruff. You don't have to be absolutely perfect because it's essentially going to give a watercolour effect. And you can see here the colour is changing. It's almost like a bleached look. And you can do as much as you like or as little as you like. You've just got to be in control of that water that pulls the ink away. So you just keep going with that. And again, you can choose to do every flower, or you could choose just to do a couple. Or you might do, no, you probably wouldn't do just, you know, 1 or 2 petals. That might be a bit odd on each flower. But you can see I'm not being super careful. You know, I don't spend a lot of time making my cards as such, as a general rule. So I like a process that gives an effect really quickly without being too draining. So just bleed the water through your aqua painter again to make sure that it's coming through. And the only thing you don't want to do is if you roll too much, if you rub your flowers too much with standard Whisper White or normal cardstock, you will get some pilling. So you'll get that little ball effect. If you want to play a lot longer with your watercolouring, then you're better off with watercolour paper. That's a safer option. So here you go. So one, you've got the ombre effect because you've started with the darker colour going to the light, but now you're also pulling the water. Sorry, you're pulling the ink away as well. There you go. And then with here we go. Let me take the back off. So you can see how much the ink has bled through to the back with the brayering, and then also with a bit of water help as well. We'll put that onto black. Oh, hang on. Just pull that down a little bit so that we can't see the tape. Just be gentle because you've compromised the strength of the cardstock, so you don't want to be pulling or rubbing it along too hard. And then I've got embossing powder everywhere. I used to call this the bleaching technique, Wendy, but that was in the times when we used to use bleach, you know, like 1% bleach or something in the water. Whereas now the water, I think because the ink product is maybe slightly better than what it used to be, using this way obviously is safer. So I can do this with children, or, you know, with an older class where bleach might be really difficult. I mean, I didn't like it anyway because it doesn't really matter your age. But this technique obviously is just safer. And as long as you remember that you can't put the colour back in, but if you can take it away slowly, then, you know, you take your time, which I'm not very good at, but take your time, and that will allow the water, you know, to remove the colour as you wish. Because the other thing is initially it'll remove the colour, but as it dries, it becomes even more lighter. So you've got to give it time before checking out what colours you want. So then it would be just a matter of putting your sentiment on. So I've got a couple of examples here. So here, oh, hang on. This is the first one that I made, which is like really quite different to this one here. So I'm not sure if you can see, but see how there's kind of waves across here, like lines? That's because during the process, instead of using a dry towel, I used a wet one, and it was wet. So it's actually given me that effect, and it's actually pulled a lot of the colour out. So when you compare it to this one, there's quite a difference. This is almost a coral colour, which is okay. It's still probably, you know, worthy of sending. It's just not quite what I wanted. And then I've used the Peaceful Poppy sequence, which I actually ended up with at the end of the day on stage. So I have quite a few in there. I don't even know how many there are. It's extraordinary. And they're so tiny. But the best tool for, oops, there you go, I'm spilling them. The best tool to use with this is your take your pick, because it means that you can actually pick up, see here, this has got like a gum type paste, and it means that you can pick up the items. Oh, here we go. I'll show you. Makes it really easy to pick up the items so that you can utilize it and glue it somewhere, which is what I did. I used the fine tip glue and placed that in the middle of my poppies, and then I was able to glue those down, and obviously just leave it until it dries, or you end up with poppies where you don't want poppies. Here's another one. So I've used the same sentiment throughout, simply so that you can see the variation of the way that the card is, rather than different sentiments that might give a different feel for the card. So I've used the black on both of these. And remember I said to you one of the cards had embossing powder all over it? Well, that was this one. So there's sort of a speckled look rather than a clean look like here. But again, it still works. So our products are very forgiving, thankfully. That's good. And then my last one, which I think I have to like a bit, considering I don't like bling very much. I've used the gold, the gold sequins. So it just gives a different colour, you know, different colour coordination. I think they're gorgeous. And if you can have a look too, some of the sequins are your traditional type sequin. Let me, here, nice and flat, whereas this one is more like a flower. So, cool, isn't it? And they just give a different look, you know. I think they look fantastic. So I'm going to use this, I think, for a birthday card. I've got 2 birthdays on this weekend, so I'm going to make that into a birthday card. So rest and relax, you deserve it. Mightn't be the right type of sentiment for, well, I guess it could be maybe for a birthday. But that's those. I'm pretty happy with them. So a little bit of variation between the way that they all turn out, and a slight change of the colour. You know, you put it on black matte, it looks quite different to a real red. But they're all fantastic. I'm really happy with how it is. And it's my first play with these particular products. So I'm a happy stamper. So thanks for watching. I am more than happy to help you purchase any of the items that you've seen today when they are available, or make contact with your Stampin' Up demonstrator and they're able to assist you. Of course, you can go online to joweedon.stampinup.net and the products will be there. But I appreciate your time, and check out my blog, joweedon.blogspot, and I'll have lots of the photos up there of the cards that I've shared with you tonight. So have a great night, stay warm, and we'll talk during the week. Thank you.